Opening vision, picture this moment. Life has stripped away its noise. The applause has ceased, the crowd is gone, and the familiar supports have slipped from under your feet. You look around and realize it is only you, your thoughts, and the God who sees all. At first, the quiet feels unbearable, even frightening. But stay with it long enough, and you will discover this is not emptiness, it is holy ground. The silence you resist is the very space where your soul begins to awaken to divine purpose. The gift of hiddenness isolation often feels like rejection, yet in God's hands, it is redirection. Every person God has ever used significantly went through a season where no one clapped, no one noticed, and no one understood. Abraham left home without a map. Joseph languished in prison after betrayal. Moses herded sheep for decades in obscurity. David sang his deepest songs not in the palace but in caves. What looked like abandonment was actually formation. What looked like delay was preparation. Your season of obscurity is not wasted, it is working. God hides you, not to diminish you, but to strengthen you. Like roots digging deep before a tree bears fruit, you are being fortified for storms you cannot yet see. The wilderness as a classroom. The wilderness is not a mistake. It is a classroom. It strips you of illusions. It silences the noise of comparison. It reveals whether your faith rests on external applause or on God's presence alone. Moses learned humility in Midian so he could carry authority in Egypt. David learned trust in caves so he could carry integrity on the throne. Even Jesus withdrew to desolate places to align his human weakness with divine strength. Ask yourself, if the spotlight came too soon, would your character sustain it? If the crown was placed on your head today, would it crush you? God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. Faith in the furnace. Faith matures when it is tested in fire. It is easy to believe when the answers are immediate. But real faith is forged in delay, in silence, in contradiction. Elijah, after his great victory, collapsed under despair, convinced he was alone. Yet God met him not in fire, wind, or earthquake, but in a whisper. That whisper carried more weight than the thunder he expected. Faith is not about having every answer. It is about trusting the connection even when the signal seems faint. God's silence is not his absence, it is his strategy. His pause is his preparation. The silence that shapes. We often panic in God's silence, but silence is a divine tool. Like a sculptor chiseling away stone, God uses unanswered prayers, delayed promises, and prolonged waiting to shape you into the masterpiece he sees. Every unanswered prayer has purpose. Every pause holds power. When heaven seems still, your faith is being sharpened. Your heart is being purified. And your spirit is being readied for doors that only prepared hands can open. Grace at the breaking point. And when you finally reach the end of your strength, that is where grace enters. Grace is not just a word, it is a force. It lifts the weary, restores the broken, and empowers the weak. Paul discovered that his thorn was not a disqualification but an invitation to experience power made perfect in weakness. Grace is what carries you when effort fails. Grace is what whispers not yet finished when failure screams game over. Living in overflow. Once you encounter grace, it changes how you live. You no longer strive for approval, you serve from abundance. You forgive because you have been forgiven. You endure because you know weakness is not defeat, it is a doorway. Corrie ten Boom proved this when she forgave the unforgivable, demonstrating that grace is stronger than hatred. Grace is not something to admire from afar. It is something to embody. When you live in the overflow of grace, your very life becomes a testimony that God is still in the business of transforming broken people into beacons of hope. Final charge. So if you find yourself in a season of silence, do not despise it. If you feel hidden, do not assume you are forgotten. You are not buried, you are planted. What looks like isolation is incubation. What feels like delay is divine strategy. Stay faithful. Stay rooted. Stay expectant. Your story is not ending here. It is only beginning. The wilderness is shaping you, the silence is strengthening you, and the struggle is stretching you. And when God finally brings you out, you will step into destiny, not as the person you were, but as the person He has been preparing you to be all along.